morning students. In the last class we have discussed single node architecture in WSNs, right? What are the hardware components in WSN single node architecture? So today we are going to discuss energy consumption of sensor node. How the energy can be consumed in sensor node. Before we are going to start today's topic, energy consumption of sensor node, once again I am repeating the last class topic, that is single node architecture. Single node architecture. And in this single node architecture, what are the hardware components present? Are memory, controller, sensors or actuators, power supply, and communication device. Let's see the architecture. That is controller, memory, sensors and actuators, and communication device. Power supply. Okay, this is the single node architecture. These are the hardware components present in this single node architecture. Let's see one by one. First one is controller. This controller operation is to collect the data which can be collected by the environment, from the environment. So that data can be collected from the sensors to the controller, and this controller can process the data. This controller is also called as a central processing unit of the sensor node, and this is the main core of the any WSN network. The main controllers in this WSNs are: first one is microcontroller, second one is FPGAs, third one is PHDPs, programmable digital signal processors, PDSPs, next ASICs. Okay, application specific integrated circuit processors. ASICs means application integrated circuits. PDSPs means programmable digital signal processors. FPGA means field programmable gate array. And first one is microcontroller. This microcontroller is general purpose processor which is used to process the data which is collected from the sensors and actuators. And the second one is PDSPs, programmable digital signal processors. These are also general purpose processors, but these controllers are used to, PDSPs are used to, these processors which collect the data which is coming from the sensors, and the processors can collect the data which is from the analog communication devices and can extract the digital data from the analog communication devices. That is the purpose of these programmable digital signal processors. Next, FPGAs. FPGAs are also used for general purpose processing, and the main advantages of this general purpose processing is: first one is testing purpose. Suppose if you want to test in any WSN network, at that time you can use the FPGA controller. And second one is high flexibility. Suppose if you want any high flexibility, then at that time also you can use the field programmable gate arrays. This is about controller. And second one is memory. Memory, you already know that the purpose of memory is to store the collected data which is coming from the sensors or actuators that can be stored in the memory. These memories are classified into so many types. First one is RAM, second one ROM, third one EEPROM, and fourth one is flash memory. First one is RAM, random access memory, which is used to store the data. And in this RAM, suppose if the power supply is interrupted, then the stored data can be deleted, right? That is about RAM. And ROM, you already know that this ROM is also used to store the data, but this is a permanent memory. RAM is a temporary memory. EEPROM. This is also used to store the data, and in this EEPROM you can electrically erase the data. Whatever the data you can store in your memory, that can easily erasable electrically. So that is about EEPROM. And next one is flash memory. This is also used to store the data if the RAM is insufficient, or suppose if the power supply is interrupted, at that time also you can use this flash memory. Okay, this is about memory. And next one is communication device. This communication device can be used to transfer the data from one node to another node. Suppose if you want to transfer the data from one device to another device, at that time you can use this communication device. And next one, sensors and the actuators. These sensors can be acts as an interface between the user and a physical world. These sensors can collect the information from the environment, that is physical world, and give that information to the user. These sensors can be categorized into three types. First one is passive omnidirectional sensor. Second one is passive narrow beam sensor, and third one is active sensor. Active sensors. Passive omnidirectional sensors. Next one is passive narrow beam sensors. Next one is active sensors. Active sensors. You already know that in the EDC, you have already studied about what is active element and what is passive element. Passive elements always collect the energy from the outside world. Always collect the energy from the outside world. So if you observe this passive omnidirectional sensor, these sensors also gets the energy from the environment. So while designing any wireless sensor network, we use mostly passive omnidirectional sensor. Why? Because these passive omnidirectional sensor gets the energy from the environment. So and last one is power supply. This power supply for any to operate any wireless sensor network or any device, we require power supply. To provide that one, we require this device power supply unit, right? This is about single node architecture. These are the components which are present in this single node architecture. First one is controller, memory, sensors, actuators, communication device, and power supply. Okay. And next one is energy consumption of sensor node. Energy consumption of sensor node. In the first class, I have already told you that what is meant by sensor node. Sensor node is a basic unit which contains the another peripherals, that is controller, power supply, on-chip memory, all these things. Then that is called as a sensor node. So in this topic, energy consumption of a sensor node, we are going to discuss how the energy can be consumed while designing any sensor node. You already know that the sensor node contains memory, controller, power supply, and sensors and actuators, all these things. Okay, communication device. So let's see in each component how the energy can be consumed. And first one is actually basically energy consumption in a sensor node is high. Actually, energy consumption in a sensor node is high. So energy consumption of a sensor node will be tightly controlled. So while designing any sensor node, the energy consumption should be tightly controlled. So the main consumers of the energy in the sensor node are first one is controller, and second one is radio front end, and third one memory, and third one memory, and fourth one is types of, due to the types of sensors also the energy will be consumption. Types of sensors. Okay, so the energy, the main consumers of energy in a sensor node are controller, due to controller, radio front-end, memory, and types of sensors. So to reduce energy consumption in a sensor node, we have two methods. To reduce the energy consumption in a sensor node, we have two methods. Those are reduce designing low power chips. First one is, in those two methods, first method is designing low power chips. Designing low power chips. Suppose while designing any chip, if you design low power consumption chip already, then at the time if you use that low power consumption chips while designing WSNs, at the time while designing the wireless sensor network, you get low power consumption. Okay, that is one method to reduce the power consumption. And second one is reduce the functionality by using multiple states of operation. Reducing the functionality, by using multiple states of operation. Functionality by using multiple states of operation. Suppose if you want to do a function, any function, we can do several steps. Instead of a single step. Suppose if you want to complete one function in a 2 steps, suppose if you extend the 2 steps into a 4 steps, then it can cause to energy consumption or power consumption. So this is the second method to reduce the power consumption or energy consumption in wireless sensor networks. Okay, these are the two methods to reduce the energy consumption or power consumption, that is designing low power chips, and second one is reducing the functionality by using multiple states of operation. And next one is, now let's see how the microcontroller energy consumption. How the energy consumption in microcontroller. Microcontroller energy consumption. We can reduce the energy consumption in microcontroller by using 3 modes. First one is normal mode, and second one is idle mode, and third one is sleep mode. So to reduce the energy consumption or power consumption in microcontroller by operating the microcontroller in 3 modes. First one is normal mode. In normal mode, all the components which are connected to the microcontroller are in work. So the power consumption in this normal mode is 400 millivolts. In this normal mode, all the peripherals or all the components which are connected to the microcontroller are in work. So the power consumption consumption in this normal mode is 400 millivolts. And coming to the ideal mode, the in this ideal mode only the clocks which are giving to the sensors can be activated, and all the remaining components will be not activated. So the power consumption in this ideal mode is 100 millivolts. 100 millivolts. Now the sleep mode. Coming to the sleep mode, in this real-time clocks will be active, remains active, and the remain all the peripherals or devices can be inactive. So in this the power consumption is 50 microwatts. 50 microwatts. These are the three modes which can be used to reduce the power consumption or energy consumption in microcontroller. Those are normal mode, and second one is ideal mode, and third one is sleep mode. And in this normal mode, all the peripherals or all the devices which are connected to the microcontroller are in one. So the power consumption is 400 milliwatts. And second one is ideal mode. In this, the clocks which are going to give the sensors or all these things, they will be inactive and remaining peripherals are inactive. So the power consumption in ideal mode is 100 milliwatts. Next one is sleep mode. In this sleep mode, the real-time clocks will be active and the remaining are inactive. So the power consumption in sleep mode is 50 microwatts. 50 microwatts. And next one is memory energy consumption. Memory energy consumption. So energy consumption for any memory should be more. Energy consumption for any memory should be more. Why? Because in this memory, in this flash memory, we can perform the operations of reading or writing. So the energy consumption in this memory should be more. To reduce this memory consumption while writing or reading in flash to the flash memory is somehow possible. If somehow possible to reduce that reading or writing operations to the flash memory, then you can reduce the energy consumption due to the memory. And third one is radio transceivers energy consumption. Radio transceivers energy consumption. And third one is radio transceivers energy consumption. And I have already told that what is meant by transceiver. Transceiver contains both the transmitter and receiver. Suppose if you want the transmitter operation, at that time transmitter will work, and suppose if you want the receiver to receive the information from another device, at that time the receiver will work. Suppose if you want only one operation at a time, at that time you can use the half duplex transceiver. And suppose if you want both receiving and transmitting at the same time, then at that time you can use full duplex transmission. But in wireless sensor network, we mostly use half duplex transceiver only. Half duplex transceiver. So at a time you can either receive or transmit can be possible. So in this transceiver, both the transmitter and receiver are there. Suppose while transmitting the data, always this transmitter can be turned on. So to transmit the data from one device to another device, this transmitter will always turn on. Suppose if you complete transmit the data, if you complete transmit the data, if then at that time if you turn off this transmitter, then the energy consumption will be reduced due to this transceiver. Due to this transceiver, we mostly don't use this receiver in wireless sensor networks, because you always use the transmitter to transmit the data, but you won't receive any data from the another device. So you mostly use this transmitter, and after the completion of transmitting the data from one device to another device, if you turn off the transmitter after the completion of transmission, at that time also you can reduce the energy consumption of a sensor node. And the next one is power consumption of sensors. Power consumption of sensors and actuators. In these sensors and actuators, it is not possible to control the energy consumption or power consumption due to the wide range of these sensors and actuators. It is not possible to control the power consumption or energy consumption due to the sensors and actuators wide range applications. Okay, this is about energy consumption of sensor node, today's topic. And once again I am repeating, listen carefully. So next our topic is energy consumption of sensor node. I have already told you that what is meant by sensor node. Sensor node is a basic unit which contains the elements like controller, memory, power supply, communication device, all these things. Then that is called as a sensor node. So the energy consumption of a sensor node is always high. So you have to devise your sensor node should be less energy power consumption. You have to design your sensor node should be less energy consumption. So the main consumers of this energy consumption of sensor node are controller, radio fronted, and memory. Fourth one is types of sensors. Types of sensors. These are the main consumers of energy in a sensor. First one is controller, radio fronted, memory, types of sensors. And coming to the first one, energy consumption of controller. Before we are going to this topic controller, we can reduce the energy consumption of sensor node by using two methods. First one is reducing chips, reducing the low power, designing low power chips. Designing low power chips. Designing low power chips. While designing any chip, suppose if you automatically design the low power consumption chip, you can use that low power consumption chips while designing wireless sensor network. Then while operating any wireless sensor network, the energy consumption will be automatically less. So this is one method to reduce the energy consumption of a sensor. And second one is reducing the functionality of participating the more steps in a operation. Suppose if you reduce the steps to do a particular function, at that time also you can reduce the energy consumption of power consumption. And next one is energy consumption of controller. Energy consumption of controller. We can reduce the energy consumption of power consumption by operating the microcontroller in 3 modes. First one is normal mode. Okay. In this normal mode, all the peripherals which are connected to the microcontroller are in work. So the power consumption in this normal mode is 400 milliwatts. 400 milliwatts. And coming to the second mode, that is idle mode. In this idle mode, clocks to the CPU stop. Clocks to the CPU. So whatever the clock you are going to give to the CPU, that clocks will be stopped and the remaining peripherals will be inactive. So the power consumption is 100 milliwatts. Okay. active, real-time clocks will be active, and the remaining peripherals and devices will be inactive. So the power consumption in sleep mode is 50 microwatts. 50 microwatts. In normal mode, the power consumption is 400 milliwatts, and in ideal mode, the power consumption is 100 milliwatts. In sleep mode, the power consumption is 50 microwatts. Okay. And the second one is memory energy consumption of memory. Memory energy consumption. Okay. To write or read any memory, the energy consumption will be more. Okay. To write, to read, or to write into any flash memory, the energy consumption will be more. So to reduce that energy consumption or power consumption, you have to reduce the read or write operations in the memory. Then you can automatically reduce the energy consumption or power consumption in any wireless sensor network. And third one is radio transceivers energy consumption. Radio transceivers and energy consumption. In the last class, I have already told you that what is meant by transceiver. In this transceiver, we contain mainly transmitter and receiver. Mostly in any wireless sensor network, at a time you can use only a transmitter only. Suppose after the completion of transmission of any data from one device to another device, you can, if you turn off the transmitter, then automatically you can reduce the energy consumption or power consumption of a sensor node. And next one is power consumption of sensors and actuators. In this power consumption or energy consumption of sensors or actuators is not possible practically. Why? Because these sensors and actuators can be used wide range of applications. So the power consumption or energy consumption is not possible to actuators and sensors. Okay, this is about energy consumption of sensor nodes, and in the next class we are going to discuss about the operating systems we are going to use in this wireless sensor networks. Okay, that is going to be discussed in next class. So this is for today. Thank you.